Voices is the newest feature to the DOA channel. This is a podcast where the outdoors comes alive from the people who live it. Each episode brings you face to face with hunters, anglers, and adventurers as they share their stories, their lessons, and their voices. More than just tales of the wild, Voices dives into the person behind the adventure, capturing the grit, gratitude, and wisdom that make outdoor life unforgettable. Available in both audio and video, every conversation is posted on YouTube so you can see and hear the stories as they unfold. For years, I've invited you into the raw wilderness that captures those moments of the outdoors, standing just yards away from big game, feeling the surge of adrenaline as an arrow leaves the string, and sharing the flood of emotions that follow a harvest. Alongside the triumphs, I've opened up about the hard lessons and the mental battles that come with facing the wild landscapes of Alberta. These experiences have built a foundation of authenticity and connection with my audience, and now I'm expanding that journey. Voices is where I bring in the people who inspire me. Hunters, anglers, and adventurers, so together we can share their voices, their challenges, and their outdoor journeys with the community that we're building. Voices, a podcast by DOA, Dorward Outdoor Adventures. Voices is brought to you in part by Wapiti River Outdoors. Every elk hunt tells a story, and mine begin with Wapiti River elk reeds, crafted locally here in Alberta. Their calls are built for authenticity, and they've become the voice I rely on in the backcountry. Visit WapitiRiverOutdoors.com for all your elk reeds, bugle tubes, elk accessories, and trail cameras. My guest today is Lisa Roper. She's a well-known outdoor enthusiast and conservationist. She is also the host of Lisa Roper Outdoors, a nationally televised fishing series featured on both the Sportsman Channel and the World Fishing Network. She has built a strong reputation for showcasing Canadian fisheries and promoting ethical, accessible angling with particular roots and recognition in the Lac La Biche region. Lisa is an award-winning angler and media personality whose work continues to grow the outdoor community across the country. I'm very pleased and honored to welcome Lisa to the Voices podcast today. Lisa, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you so much. I mean, my goodness, what an introduction. I'm actually red.
It's funny because I think a lot of people know you. They see you on social media. They're aware that you do the fishing show, and there's so much else. And when I really had to go down, because I do like to prep for these podcasts, right? And I'm like, what do I know? And then I scroll through, so I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. And there's so much about you, and that's why I'm excited, and I've waited for this one for a long time, just to dig into the world of Lisa Roper. There's so many interesting things that you do. I'm fascinated by what you do, and to get the chance just to sit down, you and I, and talk, that's awesome. So thank you so much.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me. And, like we were kind of saying earlier, I mean, it's pretty great. We've chatted on social media. We met on social media, and, there's been conversations and support and questions and like, you got this, and all the things that, we've gone back and forth, and to finally meet you. And thank you for having me on your podcast. It means a lot. And I'm excited to dig in.
Yeah, you bet. And like you said, we've been messaging back and forth. I think we've known each other through the messaging world, texting, Instagram, or that community that we talk about is so close that it feels like I've known you, but I just started talking to you the first time in person through camera 2 minutes ago, right? So yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I mean, man, that's what I love about this industry is like, it is big, but it is quite small, and just having those people that you can connect with, and maybe we never would have met, but I mean, the fact that I know that, hey, I, even through my moose hunt, I got to send you a quick message like, oh my gosh. And, you're sending me like, you got this, you can do this, girl.
Yeah. And then I get the picture of this partial antler, and I'm like, do you get an elk? And you're like, no. And I'm like, what the heck? But we're definitely going to touch on that story today as well. But yeah, and I know you are out there in the public, you're involved with events, you're doing a lot of things. But I guess for my small little audience that may not know who Lisa Roper is, give us that quick rundown of how you became involved in fishing in the outdoors, and kind of the roots to Lac La Biche. I mean, it's always there for you, but is that a place where you grew up? Or give us the 30-second intro on who you are and where you're from.
Okay, 30 seconds. So yeah, born and raised Lac La Biche.
As long as you want.
Okay, so yeah, born and raised Lac-La-Biche. We actually lived in a small community about half an hour west called Grassland area, and lived there till I was 13, and then we moved back to Lac-La-Biche. And so that's when I'm lucky. I was born, raised into hunting, fishing, outdoor family. We didn't really spend a lot of time indoors, so it was amazing. And from that, when we moved to Lac-La-Biche, of course, being in a area where, you know, there's 172 lakes or something like that. And so we did a lot of camping, hunting, fishing, quadding. I mean, you name it, we were doing it. So that was really great. And yeah, when I first started out, I came from a family typical where my dad was kind of like, you know, maybe women belong in the house and the boys do the outdoor stuff. And I remember the first time he took my brother big game hunting, and he's like, you know, I'm packed up, I'm ready to go. And he's like, no, you're staying home. And I was like, what? Oh yeah, I cried. Yeah. And I went to my room. And then I remember the next time he announced that they were going, I secretly packed up, got into the back seat, and he got in the truck and he's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm staying. And honestly, like that, from that moment on, he knew that I wasn't taking no for an answer. And we developed so many amazing relationships or memories and moments and hunting, and he became a hunting and fishing partner, and just, you know, a lot of fun. And so, yeah. And then just quickly, because I have shared it a few times, but unfortunately he passed away very suddenly, actually 10 years this year. And when it happened, I couldn't figure out grief for about 2 years, and I was just struggling. And, you know, trying to find your way and trying to get back into hunting and fishing, but nothing felt right. And then I just started writing down kind of all the gifts he gave me, you know, from how to be respectful and kind and care about people and care about yourself and all of that, to outdoor gifts, like how to hunt and fish on your own, or how to walk out of a hunt in the dark by yourself. I mean, all these things. And I mean, I had a huge list, and I thought, oh man, my dad wouldn't want me to do nothing with this. And so that became the start of the paying it forward, and kind of my whole break into the outdoors. And I wanted to make a difference for other women and youth, and really anyone who wants to follow along. And then fast forward to a few years into kind of taking on the outdoor world, and I was approached to start my own show, and here we are. So that's notes.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. How old were you when you forced yourself into the truck and weren't taking no for an answer?
Yeah, 6 or 7.
Oh, like, okay, so like really young.
Yeah. And I knew already then that, I mean, I wasn't someone who sat in the house. I don't like sitting around. I didn't watch a lot of TV. I was lucky. My older brother really loved being outdoors as well. So, you know, I got to, you know, kind of tag along behind him, and then, yeah, just sort of like, I'm coming along whether you guys like it or not. And of course, lots of times I was the only girl. And, you know, I remember hearing my dad's friends, who it's hard to imagine, like his 30-year-old friends, and I'm 6. But, you know, like, she can't come, she's going to slow us down, like, da-da-da. And so I can't imagine how hard that is. So for any dads out there that are taking their daughters, like, keep going. You're doing a great job, because it's awesome.
Yeah. And it's funny, because I've talked with a lot of people about involving their children and what it takes. And it's almost one of those things, whether you're a daughter or a son, male, female, it's one of those things that I think a lot of people in the outdoors world like us, we want to introduce that to our children when they're in a young age. You want them to enjoy it, but you also don't want to force it and make it something that they don't want to do, right? But it's kind of, you got to gauge their age, their interest level, how long you can stay out there, and kind of make it an enjoyable thing for them. And I mean, sometimes it turns out that they love it, and sometimes it's like, yeah, this isn't for me. So, yeah.
100%. And I think I like exactly what you said. It's so important, is really gauging your children and gauging their level. And at first, I actually had a really in-depth conversation with a gentleman at a conference I was at in Ontario. And he's like, it was beautiful, like such a great conversation. And he was like, what is wrong? Like, my daughter's coming with me. She doesn't want to stay home, but she brings her Barbies, and she's playing Barbies while we're hunting. And I said, yeah, and one day the Barbies is going to go down, and the gun is going to get picked up, and everything you've taught her that you don't think you're teaching her is all going to come forward. And like, he actually broke down in tears. It was a lengthy conversation, but he actually broke down in tears, and he's just like, wow, thank you. And I'm like, just keep going. You know, if they want to come, they want to be a part of it, let them do it. And let them understand. And a lot of people think, oh, you know, I got to get them into hunting. And so they just get into hunting. But a lot of people maybe don't understand that even just putting up a trail camera, going in the bush and finding scat or tracks or whatever, that's all a part of it. So if they're not enjoying maybe one part of it, just switch it up and do something else.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like whether it's, you can't expect to go out there with someone, you know what, almost at any age, if it's something new for them, you can't expect to go out in the bush at 5:30 in the morning and not come back home till 10 o'clock at night. Like that's not, I mean, sometimes for us, it's not a fun thing to do when we're grinding it out. So yeah, whether it's
same with fishing, like, you know, you get on a boat at 5. I mean, most people, not even adults, they don't want to be out there. I mean, there's a few crazies, but they don't want to be out there for 12 hours.
No, you're right. Like I have friends, adult, grown friends that are like, oh man, the things that you see outdoors in the wood, like that's awesome. Can I go with you? I'm like, you are welcome to come anytime. And I reach out with the, hey, I'm leaving. Hey, what time are you going tomorrow? Well, I'll leave my house at like 5 a.m. Ooh, and right away it's that initial, really? Like, can't we go at 10? I'm like, we can, but we might as well call it a nature hike because that's not the way it happens. But yeah. So I guess talking with family, you have a couple children and you're also a baba, right? You're a baba to two young boys now. So are they involved in the outdoor world and fishing? And I know they are because I see the posts of the grandkids and how much they enjoy fishing, but tell us about the family.
Yeah, so I have a daughter and a son, and the daughter is married and she has 2 boys, so Deacon and Archer. My daughter's Ashley, and then my son is 21, and so everybody loves the outdoors. And what's really cool is our daughter loves fishing, never really got onto the hunting side, and that goes back to, you know, kept bringing her along, doing little things, but it just wasn't for her. She loved the nature walk about it, you know, finding scat and doing scavenger type hunts, but not the actual killing of any kind of an animal.
For sure.
And so she really took off in fishing, which was awesome. And then our son, I think we fished him too much, kind of like that 12 hours on a boat. And he's like, I'm on. But he loves to hunt, like loves, and he's such an incredible marksman. And so, I mean, I've learned a ton from him because I don't shoot long range. That's not really my thing, but just watching him and listening with him. So I get both sides, which is super beautiful. And then of course the grandkids, they absolutely love everything outdoors. Like, can I come hunting with you? Can I come up the tree stand with you? To the most recent video that we put up yesterday. And I mean, they go absolutely crazy because they're bringing a walleye by themselves through the hole. So it's great. I love it.
They can't get enough of it.
They can't. Yeah.
So is that I mean, with that many people around, and like your son, you kind of rely on him and he's good at what he does. Yeah. I don't want to use the word pressure, but a lot of responsibility. You must be, when you're out on the lakes, you must be busy. Lines, rods. I know what it's like just doing a couple things with a couple people, but that's got to be a busy time for you when you guys head out.
It is a busy time, but I love it. I love the energy and noise, and sometimes even a little bit of the chaos on the boat or on the ice, because to me, that's success. Right? That's just a beautiful gift that I get back to say, we want to be with you. We want to hang out with you. We want to make memories. So I'm kind of more like, bring it on. Let's do this. Let's have fun. I don't always get to fish when everybody's around, like when there's a lot, but but that's also the gift, is that really I don't want to, like, I want to see you succeed and you succeed and you succeed. So let's just have a whole lot of fun here and try and get you on some fish. So I don't know. I love it.
Yeah, no, I definitely can sympathize and empathize with that. I know for the family ice fishing, the free weekend in February in Alberta, it's the free fishing. I call it the free fishing weekend, where I always invite, whether it's my brother, extended family, I'm like, hey, you don't need a license. I have the tent. I got everything you need. Come on out. And when we get those people out there, you're right, I don't have a line in the water, and they're like, hey, you need, I'm like, no, I don't, give me that, let me do this for you, or do you want to touch it? Most people don't want to touch even a minnow or take a fish off the hook or anything, but the excitement just to be involved with that, for sure, I can definitely sympathize with that feeling and those emotions, for sure. 100%.
There's nothing quite like it.
And this ice fishing season, man, we were chatting a little bit about that messaging when you were trying to get your shack out on the water, and with the overflow and the slush and the amount of snow that we're having still. It's I guess the date of this podcast, we're January 10th, I think it is today. So did you get your shack out? Is everything good?
Oh gosh, no. Nope. I've come to the conclusion that my shack is going to stay on the flat deck trailer this year. I don't think I'm getting it out in any, it's not even, I don't think. I will not be getting it out on the ice based on everything I've seen so far. Yeah, on Lacklebush Lake in particular, like we are seeing that 2-3 feet of snow. We've got 6 inches or more. Like even some, I haven't seen the 12 inches of overflow, but I've had people report it to me.
Yep.
I can say that I've reported 6 inches of overflow. And then what kind of scared me between Christmas and New Year's, and it's actually the last time I've been on the ice, I was fishing in one area, and in 100-foot distance, I was at 11 inches of ice, and then I was walking and drilling, trying to find more structure fish. Yeah. And I found a spot where I only had 6.5 inches of ice. And I just set them out. Like, you know, I know I'm with a sled, and I know I'm, you know, I was walking. My sled was quite a ways away, and I know that's still safe per se. But the ice this year is not safe. It's not your hard ice. It's not that nice layered of blue that you see. There's layers of white in there. Yeah. Even when you shovel everything away and you kind of use a scraper, you can scrape ice. And it just looks like, the best way to describe it to people when, you know, you're trying to explain is it looks like snow cone. You know, when you have a snow cone.
Yeah. It's soft. It's not solid. Like, yeah.
So, you know, some people say rotten ice, whatever. And you know, I actually just today I was looking on Facebook, and a reliable source was filming a truck that went through the ice somewhere. I believe it was on Lake Winnipeg. And so there's a lot happening this year. It's not just here in Alberta, and, you know, it's across.
Yeah, it's one of those things where with the overflow, I had all my stuff down in the garage. I was ready to go the next day. I had another buddy that went out, and he kind of texted me back, and he's like, it's worse than what we think it is. And I didn't go. And I love it. And I probably don't love fishing as much as you do. I enjoy it. I love getting out. I know a little bit of stuff to catch a few fish, but I'm just like, I don't want to go out there, shovel, get all wet. Like, I got all the gear to be prepared, but I'm just like, am I going to enjoy it, or I'm going to come back and be like, oh man, what a lot of work. So yeah, I agree that ice is just, it's hard to trust it right now. So yeah, be careful, and
Yeah, 100%. Be careful, everybody. And, you know, drill your holes, take your time. Just because you're on 11 inches one area doesn't mean you're, like I just explained, in the other area. And yeah, it is a lot more work. So be prepared for that this year. You know, whether you're putting your tent up and then all of a sudden you're realizing that the water is lifting up and soaking through the snow, and now your tent, you know, keep kind of hitting your sides or moving the base of your tent so that, you know, it's not going to get stuck into that water. And I highly recommend you're not leaving it overnight, you know, just those things.
Be smart about it, right? Yeah. I thought about that too. I'm like, if I go out, I know what my gear is, what the condition and the wetness of it is when I normally get back home to dry everything out. I'm like, oh my God, like take me that much longer, that much more work. But yeah.
100%.
Yeah. So whether it's on the open water, whether it's on the ice, we see the videos of you and you're pulling out monster fish. Doesn't matter what species it is. And I know you said you got the love of fishing from your dad, and he did a lot of things outdoors, but where did you learn the tactics from? How did you learn what to do to catch a walleye and how to catch a big pike and lake trout? And where did all that knowledge come from?
Man, honestly, there's so many people to thank, and people that don't even know, like whether you're watching a YouTube video or whether you're listening to a guide that, you know, you started off as a stranger and became friends by the time your trip is done, and you're just absorbing and asking. I ask a lot of questions, no matter, even when I'm with my grandkids who are, 7 and 5. Honestly, I've learned some stuff because I'm just like, how did that happen? Okay, I'm going to watch this again. And, you know, So I love to learn, and I love to be open, and yeah, the more I can learn, the better angler or outdoors person that I can be, right? And so I would say, yeah, for sure, some of it self-taught because you're taking it all in and then just trying things. I mean, it's also the hard days where nothing's biting and you become so creative in the next lure you're going to use or the way you're going to use it that typically that's not how you're going to use it.
Yeah.
It's just those challenging days that make you a better person and a better angler.
I remember I don't know if it was a challenging day, but I was in the garage and I was cleaning up, doing things or whatever. And it was the winter time because it was you and your daughter, Ashley, that were in the ice fishing shack. And you flipped up Instagram on Instagram Live. And it was just like, hey, ask us questions. And you guys were there, but you guys were still having such a fun time, even though there wasn't a lot of stuff coming through the holes of the ice and whatnot. And like I said, I had it on my phone. I'm busy doing some work in the garage and I was just listening, and the questions that were coming in, that was awesome. So yeah, I remember that time you were out there with her.
Thank you. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. And we actually couldn't believe the amount of people that chimed in, because we were, didn't know if it was really going to work. I've never done a live before. And it was awesome to see the support. And again, we talk about it, the community showing up. And, there's a few people that I've only ever messaged with who showed up, and they were just asking such great questions, and vice versa. Even some people left comments about, hey, you guys should try this. And I was like, oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah. Where, and I won't know all the answers to this, but where have you fished? I know you've been all across Canada, but have you been deep sea fishing? Or tell us a little bit about all the amazing places that you've had a chance to fish.
Ooh, yeah, there are so many amazing places. I mean, the one province I haven't really, since I took on the outdoors, I haven't really fished BC. I've done it prior to that when I was younger a few times, but yeah, I mean, Alberta has some great lakes to fish in, everywhere from down south at Newell to Lac La Biche and further. Just lost the like Christina and Blackett and Jackson and all these other lakes, and then of course Saskatchewan, Manitoba. I fished Ontario, the Yukon, and I'm hoping this year to take a trip to the Northwest Territories, crossing all fingers.
Nice. So, with all those ones, is there one that's special for you for whatever kind of reason?
Yeah, I mean, there's actually two. So last year, like 2025, I had the opportunity to go up to Chimo Lodge, and Chimo, on the front side of Chimo, is on Tazin Lake, and Tazin has been a lake I've wanted to fish, oh man, forever. And so finally got an opportunity to come up, got the invite, and away we go. And then to find out when we get there that they have sole access to two other lakes kind of behind the lodge, but it's not far, like, it's a 3-minute quad ride or 5-minute walk.
Yeah.
And man, the fishing, like the pike and the laker fishing, was second to none. And so we actually only fished maybe a day and a half, 2 days on Tazin, and all the other fishing was on the other lakes. And we got into it. Like, for real, I in the episode, it's coming up here in February, and in the episode I said that is the best pike fishing day I've ever had. So in 4 hours, give or take, we caught over 100 pike, and we're talking 36 to 44, 45 inch pike. Like, it was.
That's a busy day.
It's nothing I'll probably ever experience again in my life.
Yeah.
And then to get into trophy lake trout and end it with this, with this amazing, I mean, I just catch this monster laker, like, oh my gosh, and I lose my mind because we only have maybe an hour left to fish. And then this storm comes in and we're out trying to outrun the storm, and it's just epic. Love it. As you can tell, I just get so excited. And then I would have to say too that Cree Lake, I was up at Garrett's Broken Arrow Lodge 2 years ago, and I caught my 50-inch, just over 50-inch pike. Nice. And of course, that's a dream for, I think, any angler. We all have goals. We set them fairly high, and I've always said I want a 50-inch pike, and so I was able to land it that day. So those really stick with me. Yeah. No,
for sure. How did we talked a little bit about it, but you're on season 5 now of the television show, if I have that right.
Yep, that's right.
So how did that all come together, where it's like, hey, I'm a great angler and I'm going to do a fishing show?
Okay, first of all, there was no like, I'm a great angler. I just love it. Okay, like, oh my goodness. When I wrote down, going back to that list of the gifts my dad gave me and wanting to pay it forward, and I wrote down a year's worth of goals right away, and I accomplished them in 4 months, and like the fire, I was ready, like, let's go. And but the funny thing is, at no point did I write down that I ever wanted to do a TV show like that, not even on my radar at any point. And so it really wasn't until The first network approached me. They actually called me and said, we're wondering, like, we've been watching you. You're doing some amazing things. Like, you're really, trying to get so involved in the outdoors. Would you want to do a TV show? And I was like, okay, what?
Hint yourself a little bit, yeah.
Like, I was trying to be cool, like, oh yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, so I obviously hung up and thought about it, and then the next day, the other network called me, and I thought, holy heck, like, is this? Yeah, completely. I was like, is this really gonna happen? Like, is this something? So I phoned a friend, my good friend Andrew, and I said, we've done some fishing together. I knew he loved to film. Said, hey, you want to go? We have to do a pilot episode. You want to go try and do this, see if we get along and see how this works out? And and so we did, and that was it. I mean, the rest is history, and yeah.
So I'm assuming, I guess for the audience, I mean, what we see on TV or on YouTube, I mean, it's the catching fish and it's all fun, but I'm sure there's a lot of hard work behind the scenes, what's going on to produce a show of your caliber and present it to an audience. Does it ever get in the way where some of that production work, the behind the scenes stuff, feels heavy like a job? Does it ever take away the enjoyment for you or no?
Yes. Yeah, unfortunately, sometimes it does. The actual, like, getting out there, fishing, filming, I'm not joking when I say a lot of times I forget that there is a video camera on the boat. Like, I get so uber focused that I actually kind of like almost have blinders on and everything just gets quiet and I'm just in a zone. So that part's beautiful. But sometimes what people don't understand, because they look at it and they go, oh, you're just fishing. I mean, how hard can that be? Fair. But there's a lot that goes into making the story, because I don't want it to just be something you throw together. I want people to follow along on the story, fall in love with the fish or the experience or the person sitting beside you watching the episode and go, we should do this, right? Like, that's an emotional connection. And so to be able to do that, it does take a lot of work. But outside of that, like, people don't understand that there's a lot that goes on in the office, like lots and lots and lots of hours between your, trying to find sponsors. And then once you do have your list of sponsors, you're, making sure that you are connecting with them and providing them with the information they're looking for, or media or whatever. And, booking your gigs you're constantly kind of a salesperson and trying to meet more people and develop those relationships. And there's a lot that goes into it. And I love it. The best part is I love it. But yeah, sometimes it can get heavy.
No, for sure. I can definitely relate to that a little bit, like just for the self-filming that I do a little bit here and there. And it was one of those things that I always told myself that I don't want it to take away from me enjoying the hunt. And there were some times where, it took away from it. I lost an opportunity on an animal because I was worried about a camera and this and that. And it's like, Jeff, this is for your memory bank. This is your memory vault, and this is for you to look back on. It doesn't have to be perfect. Capture what you can, and that's where it went to. It went to I want to put meat in the freezer. I love eating. I love using my smoker. So it was, but yeah, there's a work behind it. I was just going to ask, do you do your own editing, or do you have someone that's doing that for you, or?
Yeah, no, my videographer does, like, they film and do their own editing. Okay. So yeah, that's really great. We work together at it and, kind of come to a conclusion and an episode and changes and stuff. But
yeah, you talk about, like, the story. You don't just want people to watch it and be like, fish, fish, fish. And, like, you tell the you let people into your life, which is, I mean, puts you in not a vulnerable position, but you open yourself up. You are vulnerable. And I find that for me, piecing that story together, when I look back on it and I upload the files from my cameras and I start going through it, I start replaying that hunt in my head or whatever. I'm like, oh yeah, that. Oh, and there's so many things that come out of it when I'm going through it. And there's been a couple times a few years ago where I went through and I did like a season reflection type thing. Yeah. And it was a year that I didn't fold a tag. I didn't have a lot of fun, pretty emotional year. And I'm like, okay, let's try put something together. And it was weird because as I went through each folder of footage, I'm like, oh yeah. And that smile came back, right? I was like, hey, you know what? I did have a pretty good year. As hard of a year as it was, I was able to get out, and that was good. So yeah, I can relate to the story and that connection to the audience. So yeah.
100%. And sometimes we have to really remind ourselves, and I like the story you just shared, because we forget, we put so much pressure on ourselves at times that we actually forget the journey. And so for you to be able to go back through all of that and go, darn, it was a pretty good year. And like, look at these memories. And it brought the smile back, and it kind of dropped your shoulders to go, holy man, like what am I complaining about? Like, right. And I do the same. I mean, there's times where I've put so much pressure on myself only to realize, like, man, look where you are. Look what you're doing. Look what you're capable of. Yeah. Just take a breath. But
Yeah.
I mean, we are human. And so I just think, instead of being hard on ourselves about that, we just, acknowledge it. Hey, I'm putting way too much pressure on myself, and move on. Right.
Yeah. And I think it's okay for us to be disappointed in ourselves when we don't achieve what we set out to be. Like we work hard at what we do. We have goals that we want to hit. And when we fall short of them, upset about it, and be like, oh man, I want to do better. But it's, remember the little things. Those are actually the big things, and use it as a lesson to propel you into the next year. So yeah. Good reminders.
Yep.
While we're talking fishing a little bit, what can you suggest? I always, when I'm going through the podcast thing, because this is episode number 3 for me, so I'm trying to be like, hey, what are listeners looking for? What do I want to know? And I know I've asked you this before through our messaging, and I know this is an impossible question to answer, but I'm going to ask it, and hopefully you can give myself some more pointers and whoever's listening on what do you look for to land great walleyes? What are you looking for? Depth, the lake, what you're using for hooks, bait. Like, if you can give us a little, if you want to target walleye, here's what I would do.
All right. Well, since we're in ice fishing, we'll kind of, talk a little bit about ice fishing. So yeah, I mean, definitely you're always looking at your maps first, and, trying to find that structure, the rocky points, off the rocky point, where's the ledge? And even if just very basic, right? You want to set up somewhere close to that ledge, be it on top of the ledge, halfway down, or at the bottom, because eventually they're coming up and coming down, right? They're coming up to feed, they're going back down. And so you're just trying to time that with when are they feeding, and then when are they resting? When are they feeding? When are they resting? Actually, my episode last week released, which was a solo ice fishing one. And I kind of said, like, I hadn't been out for a couple weeks. I don't really know what the walleye are doing. This cold front came in out of nowhere. So I actually started with a rattle bait. And a lot of people were like, rattle bait? You jig with a rattle bait? It's like, yeah. And so the cool thing about that is, if I don't know what's going on, is there anything in the area, you start using a rattle bait, and next thing you know, you've got a fish come in. They don't always bite because sometimes it's too loud, too much flash and vibration. But then, like here in Alberta, of course, we can have 2 lines. So then I'll have a second line set up where, okay, if you don't want the rattle bait, put that, lay it on the bottom, pick up my other rod, and just jig the soft little jig or a spoon, and with some bait on it. The rattle bait does not have bait on it. And then usually they'll take one or the other. Are they coming in aggressive and they want the rattle bait? Are they coming in quiet and they're going for, just a simple jig and a minnow? Even a jig, I'll use a soft plastic, and then actually I'll put a minnow even on the soft plastic. I've had so much success with that, and I know people look at me strange, but it works for me. So I'm using it. I
do the same. I throw a chunk of minnow on a rubber jig. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, sure. And it works. And same with the spoon, right? Because it's just a different action, the way it flutters down through your water column. And the cool thing about a spoon is, with that action, you can control it by stopping and jerking it through the water column. And that's another thing. So many people, it's true, walleye have this tendency to be on bottom, but there is so much knowledge, I guess, that I've learned over the last few years with regards to walleye, like the entire water column. They're not always just on bottom. And so utilizing your water column, even if it's just for flash and vibration, to get it up and then bring it back down, slam it on bottom.
Okay. So do you find walleye go for a certain color, or does it depend on the lake, or does even overcast sunny skies matter when it's ice fishing? Or
well, depending again on your snow. Like last year, for an example, we didn't have a lot of snow coverage. It was straight ice. And so, even the underwater cameras were working way better because you had more light coming down, where, those are things we don't know. We can't understand because we're not down there. And so definitely you would see a difference over a cloudy day or a bright blue sky kind of type day. And yeah, water quality 100% will determine your lure color. Bright days, clear water, lighter lures, darker stain, darker days, darker lures for me.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I still have, this goes back quite a few years. I still have my lure that you gave me with the Lisa Roper, because it's funny. I made a comment on one of your videos. I'm like, oh my God, that is the favorite one that I use, that orange and flat gray type thing. And then you sent it to me and I'm like, holy crap, this is awesome. I got like the Lisa Roper Outdoors logo on it. And it took me forever to use that lure, Lisa, because I'm like, I don't want to lose this, but it's in my tackle box and I haven't lost it yet. And I have caught fish off of it. So yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
If you lose it, I know people who know people. So, I'm sure you get another one.
Here's a question. So I've played around with one a little bit last year with the underwater camera. And I know there's different kinds, different styles, and some of the cameras go down. They look like a fish. There's a black camera. And so I guess you got the camera that gives you the video feed, or you can have, and forgive me because I'm not familiar with it, what's called like a flasher, right? Like where it's just like a sonar type thing.
Yep.
Do you like one more than the other, or do they both serve different purposes? Or if someone's looking to buy one or the other, is there any advice you can give?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, they kind of serve different purposes. Like if I only could choose one for the rest of my fishing, we're going to exclude the live scope right now, just because that's just a whole nother topic. So we're just going to leave that. I probably would take and I'm not sponsored by them, but I probably would take my Humminbird Helix 7. I love it. So it's got the sonar, it's got the fish finder built in, right? You got it all in one. Okay. I love my underwater camera, but as far as weight and packing it around, and if it's super cold outside, the batteries don't always stay. So I do love that in my ice fishing shack. And I've honestly, I have learned so much about fish behavior and how, their pattern, all of those things from my underwater camera. It's incredible the amount I've learned, and stuff I just wouldn't even I'm jigging a spoon and I got a pike coming in here and a walleye coming in here. And I'm like, how are you sharing the same space? And they do. Yeah. Right. Little things to obviously bigger things. But yeah, I probably would go with that.
Okay.
And also too, because you can use it. Well, you can use your underwater camera for all species too. But I mean, even your sonar for lake trout. So again, it's just more versatile for all species.
For sure. Do you find that the underwater camera, does it have any effect? Does it scare the fish away, or when they come in, are they unsure? I know when I've used the one that I was using, kind of drill another hole at the other side of my tent, put it down and kind of give me a broad view of seeing things. And I don't know, for me, it felt like sometimes it just made the fish uneasy, and I don't know why.
Yeah. And you know what? I honestly don't know the answer to that, because you would have to have such a controlled environment to actually test the results of that. I mean, I've heard people say that they felt the underwater camera really spooked off the fish. When they took the camera out, they had more bites. Okay, but was it the right time now for them to bite? So that's where the uncontrolled environment doesn't allow for real analytics. I've never taken my camera out. If I'm fishing and my camera's there, I'm fishing and I'm catching fish. So I've never tested it to say, well, I'm going to take it out and see if I do better. But I've also had days where I have found where I didn't have my camera because I was just using my sonar, and then I put my camera down and I'm like, holy man, all of a sudden so again, how real is that? I don't know.
Yeah. I guess using the camera, it saves you on having a sore neck because you're not going down the hole. And you're right, because it gives you such a different view, right? Like before I had a camera and I'm looking down. I mean, there's sometimes, depending on the depth and the watercolor, there could be a fish, you don't even see it, right? It's like, oh, geez. And
even there's Aquaview, again, not sponsored, but Aquaview has a camera, and it's a quad camera. So it has 4 cameras on it.
Oh, wow. Gives you a whole 360?
Yeah, 360. Wow. And so, but the really neat thing about that is that it shows, so then on your screen, it has obviously 4 squares, right? Yeah. And it has the direction. So the north camera, south, east, west camera, right? The really cool part is then you start to really understand what the fish are doing. Why are they all coming in from the east? What's over there, right? Or suddenly, at 3 hours later, oh, wait a minute. Okay, well, yeah, they're coming from the south because that's where the main basin is. So they're coming up to feed right now and going back down. Okay, right? So that's where some of the learning has come in, and just understanding based on a camera like that.
Right, right. Kind of a good segue into teaching and providing for others. And I'm gonna read this here because I did not memorize it. But last year for the Ladies on Ice event, you received the King Charles III Coronation Medal. Do I have that right?
I did, yes.
And that is for recognizing significant contributions to Canadian or a specific region. How did you find out you were nominated? How did you find out you won? Take us through that moment of receiving something pretty special.
Oh, it was incredibly special. It was such an emotional moment. I was presented with the award at my Ladies on Ice event. And so what a spectacular moment to be amongst 100 women on the ice and I'm going to tear up, but being presented with that. And, yes, I was presented with it, but that award is for a whole group of women, right? It's for every woman that's out there doing something courageous and doing something different, and be it the outdoors, be it whatever, but taking it on and not, we're scared, but we're still doing it. And I cried.
So did you know it was coming? Was it a surprise or?
Well, no, in the sense, I didn't know she was doing it at my event.
Okay.
I did get a phone call to say, hey, you've been nominated, just so you know, but that's it. I didn't know that I had been chosen. And then to find out, A, I was chosen, and B, at the event was just absolutely spectacular. And yeah, have my daughter there, while it was happening, and have it filmed, and it's a forever memory. And I said, going forward, so this year will be my first year anniversary of it. And so I want to wear it that same day every year and just honor that moment and just appreciate it and always value it where it came from.
Yeah. And so this year coming up, your Ladies on Ice event, what year is it?
5.
Okay. And I'm going to assume that this year is already sold out, right?
It is. Yeah. It's sold out in, I think, 2 weeks or something like that.
Wow. Okay. So I guess for anyone listening that maybe wants to get in it for next year, when does that registration open? Does it open in January type thing?
No, we try to do it before Christmas in case people want to do Christmas presents with it. So usually it opens around November 7th.
And I know what the Ladies on Ice event is, but what do the participants experience when they sign up and go to this couple day retreat, is what I'll call it? Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. So I think the very first thing, which is really important, is they actually have to drive on the ice. So that's first and foremost. And we have it set up because on Lac La Biche, you have an ice road that takes you close to our event. And so we have a stationed person about halfway down the ice road, which is on the lake, built on the lake. Yeah. Because we have women that come from Florida. They fly here, rent a car, and then drive on. So we had Florida, Chicago, Texas, Ontario, Toronto. Yeah, like all over.
I didn't realize it reached that far, but I guess, why not? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's, what an honor, right? The lady from Florida, she'd never even seen frozen ice before. So it was just incredible. And so to drive on the ice and do that. So then once they arrive, we have a big giant thank you to all of my sponsors, by the way. But the Kinsman Club of Lac La Biche donates this giant outfitter's tent. So everybody at least has one place to stay warm a little bit when we're there. And then we have 13 workstations that we run them through, everything from ice safety to fish and wildlife. Like we have, I think the one year we had 11 fish and wildlife officers and conservation sheriffs, all female, that showed up, and they're part of our workstations. So fish filleting, electronics, proper handling of fish, catch and release, knot tying, like all these workstations. So you run through the workstations, and then basically from there, you take what you learned and let's go fish for the next day and a half. And you get a lot of one-on-one at that point. We just fish and take it on. We do tip ups, we do rod and reel. It's so great. I have so much fun with it.
That must take an army of volunteers to help out with so many ladies on the ice. And some of them, I would assume, have been fishing a little bit here and there. But like you said, some of them are brand new. So where do you get those volunteers?
Yeah, I'm absolutely blessed. Like, I can't say enough about my volunteers. I have such an amazing group, 5 years of the same volunteers. I mean, sometimes we add a new one that comes into the group. But man, we just the camaraderie and the friendship and how we all work together. Everybody knows what needs to be done and work gets done. And I'm truly honored to be able to work with such an amazing group.
So I'm going to ask a greedy question. Would you ever do this for gentlemen? I would love to go and learn and do anything like that. Like, is it, so I guess first question, is it all females there? All the volunteers, all like, it's just strictly females, correct?
Strictly females. All of us are, strictly females.
Nice.
And it's not a selfish question. I've actually had quite a few males reach out and just say, hey, like, it sounds crazy, but I would love to have something like this, like especially the workstations, and go through that. And so we're trying to figure out how to do it. And, you know, how do you do it if you set up another weekend and costs and all of that kind of stuff? Because, most people can't come during the week.
Yeah, for sure. Is there returning participants? Is there some ladies that have been for a second or a third time just because they might know a little bit more, but they just want more of it?
Yep, and more of it. So I would say we probably have a 20% return, maybe even more, 30%. Probably is more realistic. Some ladies have been all 5 years, and it's not at this point, you know, some of them have chatted with me, and it's not even about necessarily learning from the workstations anymore or whatever, but it's what they're looking for is the camaraderie and the friendship from other women and the empowerment, the confidence, building those relationships. I've heard so many incredible stories of women who met at our event and have now gone on weekend fishing trips together, and they were strangers and now they're not. And so it's not just about the fishing. It's also about, it's a segue into the outdoors on other levels as well.
Yeah. What does that, I don't know, it feels great for you, but what does that mean for you when you see that come full circle, knowing you made a difference doing something that you love, and now it's something that they love? That's got to be overwhelming.
It is really overwhelming. And sure, I started with the idea, but I just want to be real clear on the we did this. Like, there's never an I. And so we did this. And so I think we all feel very honored to hear those types of stories, or even, a story, a single mom who came out and she's like, I just want to be a bigger part of my son's life. And I know this is important to him and I can't do it. She came to the event to get more confidence, and then sent photos to the group saying, look what I did. And she went out on her own, took her son, and he caught his first fish. And so, that's the stuff. That's why we keep doing it. That's why we keep showing up. It's just those success stories and making a difference.
Yeah. And I think your team is a great team to learn from. And there's one thing that I've always admired about you when you're handling the fish, that care, that compassion, that conservation, right? It's like talking to the fish, releasing it gently. I mean, I've seen it done a lot of different ways, and it's like, oh man, that was really violent some days. The care you put into everything you do, completely admire and respect, no matter what the conditions are. If you're in the cold and the wind and you're looking for your plot, you never take any shortcuts, and it's always done professionally and with such care. So thank you for showing that. I know that's who you are. And it's just one of those things that stick out. It's like, for me, if I'm thinking Lisa and fishing, I'm like, oh man, the way she handles fish is a work of art. So,
thank you. That's just going to make me cry. I really appreciate that. Number one, you recognize or notice it. And number two, it really is important to me. I mean, it's the heart. I mean, that's my workstation at the event, because I mean, a lot of people don't see fish as an animal, and I've seen far too much things. I don't like, man, people kicking fish to throwing fish to just terrible things. And so, thank you.
No, for sure. I think there's moving into something a little bit different. And I don't believe you have any of these episodes on the television show or anything, but you do share it through social media. You do get out in the woods and hunt big game as well, right?
I do. I spend a lot of time hunting. It's something not necessarily a lot of people know about me, that the amount of time, but I'm pretty much off I'm even off of fishing September till the end of November. Because I love archery hunting, and then if I don't get it in archery, then I'm off to rifle hunting. And yeah, like 30, 40, 50 days is pretty common, just tracking and doing.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that because, I mean, we get some gorgeous Septembers, and to be on the lake in September, I mean, how do you choose if you're getting in the camo and out to the bush or loading up the boat?
It is just something I love so much is hunting too. And, I always get asked the question, well, if you had to pick one, which would you pick? And some days I don't know the answer. And everybody knows how much I love fishing. So, but I don't know. And I mean, hunting starts long before September, right? Between clearing trails, setting up cameras, doing whatever it is you do out there, trying to pattern, find them, glass them, do all those things. So between the fishing, you're still, investing your time and energy into doing all that stuff, and then getting out there and by default or no, by reason, I've chosen not to film it because I don't want to. There is a lot that goes into filming, as you know, and into a TV show and stuff. And so I like the fact that hunting can just be mine still. And I just escape. I just get to go away and shut the world off and take in all this incredibleness that we get to see, and stuff people wouldn't even believe or understand sometimes, because you're like, did that just happen?
Yeah. It's like your escape, right? It's like, here's where I'm going. I'm shutting everything off and just enjoying those moments. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So you want to talk about this past fall where you had an uneventful yet eventful moose hunting season?
Oh man, what a journey that was.
So I mean, let me start with the first question. Was it a drawn tag that you did the draw for, and then you were awarded it? Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
So how many years did you wait for this tag about?
4 years is a priority in the area I was in. So 4 years, not too bad, but
still, 4 years is a long time. Yeah.
And man, they would it was just cat and mouse. I mean, if I was on the north end, they're on the south end of the area of the property, right? East, west, and then the days I don't go out, just they're, roaming around. You're like, come on, like what the shit? And then, I went out, I think, was it November? Yes. And it was raining. I only had maybe an hour of hunting, but I said, you know what? I'm here. I already got my gear. I'm going to throw it on. I always get dressed in the field anyways. So I did. I did a quick video. I walked out, went to my area, and there he is standing. And oh my gosh, holy heck. But I have no shot because there was a giant tree that had fallen over and the whole root system came with it. And there was no way I could get an ethical. I had a shot, but not an ethical shot, right? I don't want to take out a hind quarter. And so, we just, he took off in the bush. So I backed out, went around, tried to get ahead of him, went down the next cut line, but he already crossed. And, we did this 2 more times, and then I lost him. So yeah, I may have sat down and cried at that point, because I'm like, do you know how many days and hours I've spent? And then thinking, is this the only opportunity I'm going to get to see him, right? Actually be right here. And then the second last day of hunting season, and I'm sitting in my ground blind and nothing. There isn't even a bird. There's no squirrel. I'm like, this is the weirdest thing. Super cold. So a cold front did come in, and I actually sent a text to my brother. I said, I'm going to go for a long walk and then maybe come back this afternoon. Do you want to come out and just, go hunt deer, whatever, but come be in the area? And 8 minutes later, I dropped my moose. So I walked out, and just as I walked out to kind of round the corner in the bush, boom, he just stood up, and there he was. And I was like, is this actually happening? And I had to shoot between 2 trees that were kind of leaning outward, but maybe about 8 inches. And thankfully, his vitals were right in that area.
Sometimes it all works out.
And actually, when he went down, I actually yelled out loud. I was like, is this for real? Are you really dead?
Yeah.
Just, you put in that time and that effort, and then just, there was emotions and tears, and, a huge moment because it's the first moose hunt that I've ever done without my dad. And so, yeah, it was just a lot. Yeah.
And that wasn't the same moose that you were chasing and having encounters with the rest of the season, because there was like a one antlered moose that you kind of were, was that the same one?
No, I had not seen this moose. Like I had a few different moose that showed up on trail cams in different areas, like not even in this area. And yeah, that one antlered moose, because he already dropped the other one. I was kind of chasing him, we were getting like cat and mouse right close, and I don't have a single picture of this moose on any trail camera. Nothing. He just came out of nowhere.
But he was yours. He was meant to be yours. Yeah.
He was mine, and he's such a unique looking, like you said, when I sent you a partial, you're like, elk? Question mark, caribou?
Yeah, and it was, because just the way that antler was formed, I'm like, this has to be an elk. And then you're like, no, moose. And I was like, oh, and it was funny because I was so happy for you that you connected, because you and I were messaging throughout that whole month type thing. And I think we all need that encouragement, right? Like, I've even said it to myself where I'm like, I'm going to quit. This is nuts. Nothing's happening. And then I turn around and I try give positive encouragement and advice for someone else. Right. But I think we give what other people need to hear to encourage. And we also receive that back, because I don't listen to my own advice. I'm the guy that's like, oh, this is stupid. I just wasted a day. You know what else I could have got done today? But I was so happy when I got that. I was like, yes, it felt like I was right there with you. That's kind of what it felt like for me. But yeah.
That's awesome. Well, yeah, and you were such a great encouragement. Like even those last couple of days, I even debated going back out and just hang up your gun. You're done. I'm not a quitter, but like I was just, I don't know, a little bit deflated. Like at this point, right? And you're like, you got this. You can do this. Go get it done. And I was like, all right.
It's a long off season. You can sit on the couch later and sulk. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. Do you do most of your hunting all by yourself? Like when you go out, it's just you kind of doing your own thing, right?
Yeah. I would say like 95% of my hunts are by myself, solo.
And you do a little bit of archery, and I'm going back a couple of years, but I think you even have an archery bull elk to your name. Am I remembering that right?
I do. Yeah. That one,
nice.
That was wild. That was absolutely wild.
And that was from what, like 2023, like a couple of years ago kind of thing?
2024.
Was it 2024? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess, you know what, I'm with the year that's just rolled over. I
can't forget, like 100%.
It still feels like I'm living in the 2025 hunting.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
No, that's the one thing that I don't have. I mean, these guys that are over my shoulders is I would love to get one with archery. I try to do all my hunting with archery, but when it comes down to what I'm out there for is to put meat in the freezer, and I hold on to my bow a couple more days into that general season. And I think this year coming up for me is like, nope, if you don't get it with the bow, you don't get it. And that's kind of a goal ultimatum I'm set for myself, because I don't know, is it too easy just for me to grab that rifle on the 17th? And last year I waited till the 19th. I'm like, I'm doing this. And on the last day of the hunt, I'm like, okay, grab the gun, let's go. And 30 yards. And but what are your goals for I guess the next year? Do you have anything lined up or set that you want to accomplish?
Oh, there always is, I mean, otherwise I'm not sure we'd still be doing what we do, whatever that is. But I mean, I want to keep, obviously filming and storytelling in the sense of like really bringing that alive on the TV and sharing my stories, and fishing a few places like Northwest Territories is so on my bucket list. And so to be able to get out there and fish some waters that are so isolated and pristine that would really be blown away by that. And then, just as far as, I mean, continue doing what I do, and I don't have goals yet for hunting because we just rolled over the year, and I'm so focused right now on trying to, where are all my episodes this year, and how am I getting it all done? And
So how much in advance do you have to plan your fishing schedule? So like as soon as that open water hits, I'm assuming in May in most places, do you have next year already planned out just to make your filming schedule and kind of get it all lined up?
Yeah, I mean, by January, you really want to have January of 2026, where we are right now, you want to try to have your whole year planned out. So I do have quite a bit booked already, but there's a couple places where I still need to tighten it up. And then, throughout the year, you're booking into 2027, trying to make sure that you have everything in place. And then that way too, you have your videographers in place and, let it roll. And your funding, you need to know what your funding is. And lots of goes into it.
I guess you never know what that fishing is going to be like. So the things that you need to have nailed down concrete better be in place. Otherwise it's a whole lot of, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know where I'm fishing. So yeah, definitely. And it's important or key to kind of have those like, hey, what species do you want to target this year? Like, is there something like, I know this year for me, lake trout's on my, man, it's just eating at me. Like I want to break my PB, right? And so I've tried a few times and I haven't quite succeeded, like an inch off, half an inch off. But I know lake trout are on, like, I need to get this done. So I'm putting in the time and effort to do that. And then of course there's always wanting to, raise the bar on your walleye and maybe do some bass fishing, which I haven't done a lot of. And I've done a few episodes with, no disrespect to any fly fishermen that might be listening to this, but have done some fly fishing. I am not a fly fisherman, but I'm trying and I'm learning. And I do enjoy it, and I've caught some fish. And so, that thrill of it, I would like to get better at that. So, we just, as you go, you have these cool little things. You're like, I want to do a horseback trip. I think it's going to happen this year into the mountains and fish one of the stocked lakes. So that would be really cool, right? Backcountry trip on horseback. Yeah.
And I guess the other thing, as much as you plan, prepare, and schedule all your events, you're also dealing the elements of Mother Nature and the weather, and like, ready or not, here's the 3 days where you're at this lodge, and I guess you got to be ready for anything.
You do. And the episode that's going to come out with Chimo Lodge as an example, it poured to the point where my videographer said, "You're cold, hey?" And I was like, videographer's Greg, and I'm like, "No." And he's like, "Oh yeah, I didn't even realize I was so cold that I thought I was jigging, but it was just me shaking." We're talking 12 hours or 10 hours of torrential downpour. The wind was up, white caps on the lake, and I wasn't quitting. I'm like, nope, I'm catching this big laker today. And, we succeeded with a decent laker. But yeah, you don't know what Mother Nature is going to do. And it's your passion. It's what you love, and you go for it. You do it.
Yeah. Ever get any camera equipment that gets a little bit damaged in the boat and the waves and the rain and stuff, or is it pretty good being protected?
Yeah, I would say pretty good being protected. We've done really well. Having said that, I did lose a GoPro, my own, so thankfully, over the boat, which led me to learn to toggle things down or put them on a strap or whatever. So quite a few years ago, I lost a GoPro over the boat. But ice fishing can be really tough. If we didn't have other options at times, we probably wouldn't have been able to finish filming an ice fishing episode when it was -30 and the wind came up, and we pivoted and went to a shack and finished filming. So you do have to make those calls. And even not even just for our gear or myself, but also the safety of the fish. You really don't want to pull them out of the water and have them out very long in those temperatures. So
yeah, for sure. I also love, you were the first one that I saw that actually drilled like a live well drill the one hole. And then I'm like, what a great idea. When I saw that, I'm like, that is awesome. But, and that goes back to your care for the fish, right? So yeah.
Well, thank you. And I, definitely not my idea. I did see it from someone else, but it made sense to me in handling those big fish on, especially, and it doesn't even necessarily have to be super cold day. It could be, -10, we all know with a crazy wind how it cuts through you. And so, fish don't have eyelids or and so you just don't want to, have them freeze up, have their eyes freeze up, all that stuff.
Yeah. We are also at that time of year where, right now it's middle of January, but show season is coming up, right? Where there's different events, different conferences and stuff. Where are you heading this spring, and where can people connect with you?
Yeah. So, let's see. February, I'm in Nashville at the Safari Club International, and super proud to be there because I have been asked to be the female Canadian ambassador for them. So that's super exciting.
Nice.
And then I'm in, of course, the Edmonton Boat and Sportsman Show in March, and the Parkland Show in Yorkton, Saskatchewan in April.
Nice.
And so, yeah, I'm excited too. I always love the shows. I love connecting with people. Geez, come talk to me. Tell me your stories. Show me your pictures on your phone. One of my best little stories, I was actually at the Calgary Boat and Sportsman Show, and this guy walks up and he's like, hi. And I'm like, yeah, hey, how are you doing? Like, how's fishing? And he's like, okay, like, I'm not a creep or anything. And I'm like, oh, okay. And he goes, I got to show you this picture. And so he brings his phone up and he shows me, he goes, do you see this? He took a picture of me on his TV from one of my episodes, but he's like, can you explain this setup you have on your rod? I was like, that's awesome. Yeah, we went through bottom bouncing and how to hook it up properly because he was having some struggles. But it was just awesome, like just so awesome to have people share those things with you.
Yeah, and that's that community, right? Like you through your social media, through your show, YouTube, it makes it feel like people know you. So people aren't scared to come up to you and ask those questions, right? Because we've all been there. We never ever stop learning, but just to feel confident and comfortable enough to be like, I'm going to go talk to that girl. Good on them and good on you. Like, that's awesome.
Well, thank you. And yeah, I hope people feel that way. Like, I'm just like everybody else. I mean, I love to fish and I still have a ton to learn. I'll never be the person to say I know so much. No, forget it. I know what I know, but there's always more to learn. And I hope you come chat with me because I probably will learn from you too when we get chatting about it, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm not at the Boat and Sportsman Show this year in Edmonton in March. We actually booked a trip to Europe during that time, and it was one of those ones where when we're looking at the dates, we're like, oh yeah, I want to be back before spring bear starts, so let's go here. I'll be back before April, and sure enough, the dates come out, and I'm like, oh, man. It's one of those ones where I'm actually a little bit sad about missing it because even though when I go, you visit the booths, you talk to the people that you see on TV, see on YouTube, those connections, those networks, right? And it's just a fun event to be a part of. And yeah, I'm sad. I'm going to miss it, but yeah.
Especially when it's, somewhat your hometown, like people in the area know, and so it's nice to be at those shows and yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I have a few rapid fire questions to ask you and I'm putting on my glasses because the last couple episodes I've done this and I've had my glasses on the whole time and I'm like, oh man, but it's every time I'm on a computer, my reading glasses go on, right? And I'm like, okay, do it without. So rapid fire questions, don't need an explanation, this or that, kind of a one-word answer to help us maybe understand Lisa Roper a little bit more. So some of these might be hard for you. I don't know.
Okay. All right, you're ready.
Open water or ice fishing?
Open water.
Open water. Pike or walleye?
Walleye.
Your favorite color of lure?
Ooh, blue.
Casting or trolling?
Casting.
Overcast or sunny skies?
Oh, overcast for walleye.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee, 100%.
All right. Podcasts or playlists?
Ooh, podcasts.
If it was a playlist, what artist would we find on it?
Anything country.
Awesome. Can you find one word to describe fishing?
Exciting.
Exciting. Can you find one word that describes you? Hardest question of them all.
I know. Fun. I hope people find me fun.
I would agree. I do. I find you fun, entertaining, informative. It's great to finally get to talk to you. It's great to follow you along on your adventures and what you share. And I can't thank you enough for coming on my little rinky dinky starting off the podcast show. And I'll continue learning from you, and honored that you said yes when I reached out to the first 5 people that I reached out to. So thank you so much.
Absolutely. And thank you for having me. And honestly, like I've enjoyed, I'm going to call it our social media friendship, because that's where, our messages and even just watching you and pulling strength from you, like this fall when you had, your situation with, you know, you had a deer and then it couldn't find it. And I felt for you. And I know I messaged you and, you know, just sharing different, well, have you tried this or tried that? And, you know, so it's so cool, again, just to have that friendship and support and knowing that, you know, I get the messages back. So thank you very much.
Yeah, you betcha. I definitely appreciate our friendship. We've talked to each other in person now. I won't see you at the Boat and Sportsman show, but when we pass each other, for sure, I'm gonna run up and give you a big hug, probably. So yeah,
sounds amazing.
And again, I will end by saying thanks again for sharing your voice. I know everyone that has listened to this podcast has learned a little bit about you, a little about fishing, a little about your escape into that hunting world. So to everyone out there listening, thank you for listening to another episode of Voices, which is a podcast by DOA, Dorward Outdoor Adventures. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to watch this full episode with videos and pictures of this story on my YouTube channel. Also reminding you to subscribe to my audio podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or wherever you listen.